The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Fizz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these are the sports podcasts live as a pro's corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for them four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a parting line. It's always in season and people starting five. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. Get it, we got what you need. If it's sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. Get it, we got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat stick. I got what you need.
Each and every week we got what y'all need, whether y'all like it or not, whether y'all telling stories about it or not, whether you tell people the truth about this show or not. We are better than what you think we are. This is the Star 5, and I'm your boy, the mayor, that DJ named Ace 5. Your mom's favorite fat guy all the way from deepest, darkest Africa. I am not hanging out with the birds this week, double entendre, because I got my man. I pointed the right direction.
Did you? Okay, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Maybe my screen is reversed, but what's good, man? Pleasure to be here with y'all today. Sun's out, rain is going away. A lot of just watching this January 6th fuckery be laid bare on TV. Got me a little drink in my cup. I'm good to go. It's a good sun. I'm about to, throw some jerk pork on the grill later today. Nice. I can't complain, man.
Nice.
Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. So, what's up, y'all? Great to see y'all again. Can't wait to see y'all at the end of the week. That's going to be dope. Another good week. I tweaked my hamstring playing softball this morning, so I'm a little sore. But besides that, life is good.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of liquid courage to melt away the pain.
That's
but
right.
We're back on Facebook this week. What's up, Courtney? How are you doing? Yeah, we're back. I'm back on Facebook this week because of this. I told y'all it's been fuck Facebook because two restrictions too many. I'm sure another one's gonna come through because of the TikTok question of the week this week, but it ain't even that crazy. But you know what? Some people needed to see the faces over here on Facebook because that's all I'm gonna say about that. But let's just dive into this. We're gonna be talking about Philly Cigar Week. Hopefully we can get the creator John and the homie Chuck Belafonte to come through on the show. I sent them the link to be on. They knew about it already. We don't know if the brothers are busy just yet, but we're gonna make sure we get them on. We're gonna talk about that later. But right now, this week we're gonna start with the TikTok question of the week, and I got it loaded up right now. TJ and Jamal have seen it already, but y'all, if you're not following, please follow the Star 5 podcast on TikTok also. But here's the question of the week. What up, hip hop heads? Please y'all the comments below. What is your definition of conscious rap? Now, with this here being the definition of consciousness, why is it that in rap we only look at a certain caliber MC as being conscious? We only look at conscious MCs as the ones that we allegedly think spread positivity, talk about the ills in our community and how to make it better. but yet being aware of your surroundings, gangster rap kind of does the same thing. So why is one level of consciousness perceived to be conscious rap over another? Speak on it. And that's what we're going to do today with the question of the week. And I took the screen share off because I'll read some of the comments as I'm echoing through somebody's thing. But yeah, we'll read some. I'm gonna read some of the comments. The homie Jay Halfday said, "Y'all ain't gonna like this, but Kodak and G Herbo are very conscious. They're just talking about different subjects." Daryl Gaines said, "Knowledge is power, so the listeners determine the knowledge they want to consume." Drosine said, "Kendrick Lamar's new album, I guess, meaning that's conscious." Shout outs to Banner Talk. They said, "I think we look at how it's articulated. Conscious rappers are perceived to be smarter or more articulate. Hip hop is conscious as a genre." Phoenix Fatal said, "Conscious rap is more about the individual to me. It's not a genre. If it sparks something within your consciousness, then it's conscious rap." And I said to him, I was like, "Good point." And then whoever Apple uses, oh, I forgot the person's name, but it says no gimmicks. That's what he says conscious rap is. And I thought about it because we all know we're of the era. Hold on a second, because this echo is crazy.
You muted, brother.
You
No,
got a real bird sanctuary going on there, Jay.
yeah, I had muted. I was muted.
Oh,
Echoing from somebody.
That's
But
oh,
okay, there we go. So yeah, I thought about this because we came from the era of where everybody looked at the Talibs, the most deafs, the commons, the poor righteous teachers, the KRS ones, the people who just talked about empowerment and not necessarily the consciousness of their surroundings, more of black empowerment as the conscious rappers. The people who talked about social ills and social injustices and stuff, those are the conscious rappers. But when you say you take a Jay-Z, or say you take a boot camp, or say you take even like a young Jeezy or somebody like that, and they're talking about either their robbing past, their drug dealing past, stealing past, BMF past, like they're talking about the surroundings and environments in which they grew up on. So why would they never perceive to be conscious compared to the quote unquote knowledge of self rappers, the each one teach one rappers, the rappers with a message, whether it's real message or not?
the flawed thing about that is they've done conscious songs, though. You know what I'm saying? Jay Z was on the Get By remix. You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, attached to what they perceive as a conscious rapper. But again,
Right.
when consciousness is being aware of your surroundings, drug rap, when you're talking about drug dealing, flipping birds, whatever, in your hood, your streets, like they are talking about their surroundings. And I'm kind of I am breaking this
You know
down
what?
to the definition of the word, but it was
You
perceived more amongst the style of rap.
you could say Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments was conscious rap.
Absolutely.
He
Don't get
gave
higher
you
yourself own
the
supply.
he gave you the do's and don'ts of what not to do if you win the game. I mean, it doesn't get more clearer than that. It doesn't get any clearer than that. So yeah, that could be considered conscious rap for you, the environment that you're in. That's what it all boils down to. You know what I'm saying? What environment are you in? Consciousness could be always have your head on the swivel because that's where the environment you're in. That's just being aware.
yeah,
Consciousness in the suburbs means different to consciousness to some kid who's growing up in the projects. Same meaning, two different effects entirely.
Right. But that's my thing. And in rap though, it's just I wanna, I'm sure it's too much for us to try to figure out now, but why is it that they're considering a style of rap as being one level of consciousness over another when it's not
because they
perceived to be conscious about talking about your street surroundings.
they never consider that. That's never part of the conversation. That's consciousness is coming. Talking about education, empowerment, moving forward. Public enemy would fight the power, all that shit.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's coming from a different perspective. So you're not understanding the perspective of the street person as being conscious of their surroundings, because though those people are not in that situation to perceive it as that. You know what I'm saying? I've heard conscious rap from Coogee Rap. He has a couple of songs where he's talking about the ills of the hood and shit like that. But
Hmm.
you don't see that perspective, and it's talked about, but like you said, Dan, it's talked about in such a different way. We don't think of it as being conscious. We take it as, oh shit, he dropped a gem, that's a rule, don't fuck that up. But you're
Right,
not
right,
seeing it as conscious, you're not seeing it as the perceived term of what conscious rap is what is out to
right,
be.
right. It's the like what we like to say, Jamal. It's the goalpost shifting,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because like I do like to look at things sometimes from that root level, that base level. The definition of consciousness was on our screen, but the goalpost moving is, oh, you're talking about crack, you're talking about destroying a neighborhood, no, I'm talking about the environment I came up in. That's where my level of consciousness is. You're
Hmm.
talking about teaching people about stuff that they might not have known about. That doesn't mean that's their environment and their surroundings,
But
but now
but
you're taking it in to try to make it a part of your surrounding, to make
that's
it an
it.
educational part.
That same rule applies to the people in the street. You have to be consciously aware of your surroundings. Like that rule
Exactly.
applies everywhere. It
Head on a
just it's
swivel.
right. It's
Yeah.
just that what it means to that person in their environment. I get what you're saying. Yes, it's all about how you perceive that from your environment, because that's the only thing you got to relate to when you're hearing it.
Right, but Jamal, but again, but
Mm.
in rap,
Yeah.
people are defining a specific style when
It,
realistically, rap across the board is consciousness. Depending on, like, even when if it's a somebody talking like, yo, I'm better than you, and here's why. Like I'm letting you know that this is why I'm better than you.
okay. So there's a couple of things. I think the term could be flawed, and there needs to be probably an evolution of what applies under that umbrella of conscious rap. But I think it harkens back to the era in which the genre was coined as conscious rap, and bringing it back to what you said, Dan, with the knowledge of self rappers and each one teach one, and the need to try and differentiate genres of rap when rap was still in its infancy. And if you really want to keep it a buck, all of hip hop was it's conscious because it was bringing light to what was going on in our neighborhoods.
Yep.
But the greater listener, even at the time, what of course when hip hop was coming up, they didn't see it as anything conscious like that. It was hitting with negativity. So they had to have some sort of term to hit to label what they were trying to say to get people to actually listen to what they were trying to say. And I think that's where consciousness comes in. Um, Now as we examine it, at a cellular level, yeah, it needs to change. It needs to be more evolved because what we think of conscious rap, going back to what you said, is not just pro positivity and whatever. Sometimes just letting folks know what goes on in the street, and it's not glorifying it. A lot of it is cautionary tales. That's conscious. They're saying, hey, this is happening. So that's my perspective on it.
Yeah. So I guess in a way answering the question, it's literally just like you said, a definition for a style of rap. Though the culture itself, as we mentioned, the culture itself is like one of the highest forms of consciousness.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? When you break it down, like when you break it down from the B-boy stance of some people used it to settle beefs, which a lot of the veterans, OGs, actually say that's kind of false. But in some hoods, they probably used it to squash beefs. Some places graffiti was the way of getting a message across, or as we know with graffiti and gang culture, this is our turf. Be
Yeah,
wary of your surroundings. Know where the fuck you at. You know what I'm
One
saying?
one of the first conscious songs was the message.
the
Don't push
message.
me because I'm close to the edge. I'm not trying to lose my head. And then the man went into the everyday struggles that he deals with and his peers deal with, and that was purely a. It was not even a caution, like Jay was saying, a cautionary tale. That was just spitting straight facts about his
Mhm.
situation and his everyday life and what he has to go through to make it through the day on a regular basis. So that was a supremely conscious rap song for the time, and the message still stands to this day.
No,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's this. It's to the letter of the law. It's yeah. It's anything. Just about anything could be quote unquote conscious, but we're talking about it from like again. Rap talks about it from a style point of view. And there's like one day we'll do a talk about like how many styles of rap do y'all think, we really are under? You know what I'm saying? Because people still want to say rap ain't pop, but rap is popular culture,
yeah. It is. It's the
like it or
Rap
right.
not.
is rap is the culture.
It
Hip
is the
hop
culture. It's the main. It's
is rap.
mainstream. Is what it is.
Yeah, it is mainstream. They don't want to
Yeah.
say it, but there's so much influence. The influence is so strong in pretty much
Mhm.
everything we've touched that you can't it cannot be denied. It cannot be denied.
Right.
You hear it during commercials. You hear it during ads. It's in your face. You see the style. You see the clothing.
Yeah.
You see how the
Hmm.
characters act. It's all over the place.
That's
You
right.
can't you
Like
can't you can't go a day without seeing it.
my Facebook user says the message was rap's first mental health song. Yeah. I
It was
mean,
out there, along with "Problems of the World" by the Fearless Four.
There
Same
you
thing.
go. Yep.
yeah. Or yeah, I mean, shit. You want to talk about rap is the life? He told us not to
Hmm.
eat. He told us not to eat over everybody else's house,
That's it.
and the chicken tastes like wood. You know what I'm saying? Like there's levels of consciousness for the letter of the law. There's levels of consciousness throughout all of it. It's just it's I remember it's what it stemmed from. It stemmed from conversations with people who would always say, "Oh, you like that Talib Kweli shit. You like that. Oh, you like that conscious, that Talib Most Def Common shit." And they would always point to those three people, like like that was the only they were the standard bearers.
That
Nah,
tells you
like
they didn't listen though. They didn't listen to their own
not at
artists because I'm sure
all. Like
they're their own artist that has a song with a conscious rapper or has done a song speaking consciously about his environment.
right.
It goes without saying.
Cause I could go to Company Flow and I'm forgetting the title of the song, but I know Big Just was the one rapping all over it, where he's shouting out all the graffiti crews and where they used to get down at. Like that's the surroundings of the subway system or the train yards or the wall. Like that's the consciousness of graffiti writing. You know what I'm saying? Or what the hell? Damn, there's too many songs that I'm saying we could just sit there and break down. Like
Hmm.
Facebook user says, rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. The artist formerly known as, and shout outs to you, Will. I think this is you, but yes,
Yeah,
KRS1.
KRS One.
Hmm.
Yes, I was just about to
Yeah.
mention him.
And speaking of old heads in rap, Uncle Forehead is back. He's showing his whole face. What up,
What's up,
JP? It's been a minute.
My brother.
JP? What's going on?
Not life, man. Life.
You,
We'll talk about some stuff off the air.
you got
Yeah,
headphones
no
on?
problem.
Yeah, I got
Because your
headphones.
audio is off. Your audio sounds a little low.
Okay.
Turn your mic up.
Turn that shit up.
For one, two. For one, two.
In your left ear. I only get it in my left ear.
But anyway, Chalk responded back, so they should be coming through around 1:30. Let's get into these NBA finals real quick before we talk to the brothers about Philly Cigar Week. Uh, this has been a flip-flop series. Each team has taken a game on each other's home floor. The Warriors just won game 4 the other day, 107-97. Steph put up 43, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. With Wiggins 17, 16 rebounds, and 2
Yes.
assists. Jordan Poole 14, 1 and 1. Klay Thompson 18, 2 and 1. While on the Celtics side, the scoring was a little more balanced. Jason Tatum 23, 11 and 6. Jaylen Brown 21, 6 and 2. Marcus Smart 18, 4 and 5. And Derek White for 16. Again, more balanced scoring sheet across the board, but they just couldn't get it done.
Listen,
JP, where are your thoughts on the series so far, JP? If you're not frozen, because you look frozen. Go ahead, TJ.
okay. So I was saying, Steph Curry put the team on his back that last game. Definitely put the team on his back. I can't see it. Was it Jamal? Is that you? What? The Audubon? Yeah. That's definitely Will. That's definitely Will. But Stephen Curry put the team on his back. Klay Thompson didn't really have a good game. The only person that was really solid outside of Klay Thompson was Wiggins, who had clutch buckets at times to keep the game close early in the first half. I didn't realize he grabbed 16 rebounds. That was huge. They got clobbered on the boards last game. So we need Golden State to be Golden State. You need to get Klay in a rhythm. Poole needs to get in the rhythm. It can't be all Steph. Steph made some ridiculous. I don't know if you watched the game or not, but Steph made like 3 3-pointers that were just ridiculous, absolutely insane, some playground shit. But you can't rely on that every night. That's not going to win. That's not going to win it for you. So
Right.
the role players and the guys who need to show up need to show up. Now Draymond Green is scared to shoot. I don't know if you've been watching it. He is scared to shoot the ball.
I'm glad you mentioned that name because I looked at his stat line right now: 2 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and everybody keeps saying Draymond needs to step it up. Draymond, those look like Draymond Green numbers.
No, but
I'm expecting more rebounds than points at any day.
But they're daring him to shoot. They are so far off of him, and he will just pass it. No, they're going to him, and they're like, "Go ahead, bro." Like your man said, he with us because he's not going to make that shot. So he is consciously aware that he's not shooting the ball well, and he's just passing. He's giving up easy shots every time, easy mid-range jumpers too.
JP, you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We hear you a little bit. Still sound like you're down the hall.
All right, can you hear me now?
A little better.
Yeah.
Better? Okay. All right. Cool.
So you're talking about the game. Like, where are you at on the where you at on this the last game and the way the finals is tied up?
I think we're down to the best of 3. It could go either way. I'm still going with the Warriors in 7, man. But I know it's going to take some monster games from Jason Tatum to really step up. Like, I'm talking about like 40, 45, 50-point games for the Celtics, I think, to win this series if they're going to win it. Robert Williams has been a beast on the defensive end. Marcus Smart has to be a little more consistent on the offensive end. Jaylen Brown, he's been very consistent. But I still think the Warriors are going to win. The only problem I have with the Warriors, which is bothering them to me, is the length. The length of Boston is really bothering them. You can see they need a big man. Like, Wiseman would have been a good factor to have in this series. And I do agree with what the pundit said as well on TV about playing Kuminga more, a little bit more. Just give him, he's a lottery pick. Just give him a little bit more time. And Draymond has to step up a little bit more. He doesn't just step up; he has to play better. But I'm going to go with the Warriors in 7.
Jamal,
this is what we want in an NBA final. Slugfest, back and forth. Champions do champions. You see the Warriors' experience is paying off. That was a huge win to come back and get that game that they needed in Boston. And I think each team is undefeated after a loss in the playoffs. Is that what I saw? So, like JP said, it's coming down to the best of three. For Boston to pull us out, yeah, Tatum is going to have to come alive. He hasn't really hit that same stride in the finals as he did in the playoffs in the ECF. So, um, it's it's hard to go against the Warriors' experience. But I still think Boston will find a way to get it out.
Yeah, we said to a couple people the other day. You were the no, actually talking to JP the other day. You were the lone person here who stuck with the Boston Celtics in this situation. But let's see if we got it going on. We got the homie John Armstrong. If he looks frozen, we'll try to get him back. See if he's But yeah, we're ready to go talking about Philly Cigar Week, man. But while there he goes, I think he's moving around. John, I think you frozen. I think you froze. While he works that out and we wait for Chalk to come back. Um, JP, you wanted to mention something real quick about the whole Stephen A. Smith, Kyrie Irving obsession.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to go deep, into it, but I just don't understand why Stephen A is coming at like Kyrie every week, and he's not even playing right now. It's like every like on these shows and stuff, he's coming at him like real hardcore. I guess because it's got to be over the vaccine stance that he took. We just have the same energy for Aaron Rodgers, though. At least Kyrie was honest. I know we're hashtagging back to what happened, but at least Kyrie was honest about what was going on, whereas Aaron Rodgers wasn't. And I just don't understand what this obsession is about Kyrie, and it's like it's becoming like Skip Bayless with LeBron. It's like what did Kyrie do to you for you to keep talking about this man like this? That's all I wanted to say about it.
Yeah, no, I dig it. We haven't really talked about it because it hasn't been worth talking about. But I know that was something you wanted to bring up real quick, and we had to utilize that to fill time waiting for this brother to come through. The homie John Armstrong, the owner and proprietor of Philly Cigar Week. What up, good brother?
What's up, gentlemen? What's up, fellas?
All right, all right.
Man, we
How are
chilling.
you? Good
How's
to see you,
everything
sir.
going?
It's in the midst of the storm. We're trying to get this thing started tomorrow, but I'm excited. Ready to get things rolling tomorrow.
Yeah, nice. I guess on the road, wrapping up all the last loose ends and stuff before everything kicks off, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Cool, cool. So for those who we were here last year, obviously earlier in the year because pandemic stuff and things in the way. Uh, just let's remind the people what Philly Cigar Week was all about, how your idea came up to have it, and everything. Let's give people a little reminder of that.
Sure, sure. Like I said before, everyone I kind of meet in the cigar space, I always start by saying I don't know shit about cigars. I just love to smoke, right? And so that's my mantra, and I'm sticking to it. But I've always been um, kind of blessed to kind of be in a lot of great situations that just stem from being in cigar lounges, meeting new people, and just connecting on that level. So I mean, it is some of my best deals are done after smoking a good cigar and on the laptop and just vibing out and just kind of getting locked in. That's just kind of my forte. But like I said, when we first met a year ago, and we kind of did a podcast. I was introduced to cigars by a former college teammate of mine, Al Shaman Singleton. He played for the Bucks, and he used to always come to our homecoming and our spring football games, and always bring a ton of cigars. And so that's how I got introduced to it on that level. It wasn't until I went and visited him in Tampa. This was years ago when Baltimore, I think, was playing the Giants in the Super Bowl in Tampa, and my first time seeing a walk-in humidor in somebody's house, because where he lived at, the Yankees had their off season, and a lot of Yankees players was his neighbors, so they would always drop cigars off to his house coming back from their travels abroad. And so it was always so at some point he said, I got tired of storing them in my garage and ended up building a walk-in humidor. So that was like my first real introduction on that level. But as far as the cigar week component is concerned, I was just seeing what was going on in other cities, Atlanta, Orlando, Houston, Las Vegas, and at the time there was no cigar weeks in Philadelphia, so I kind of got with a few folks. I just saw my man Chalk pop in there, and Chalk was probably one of the first cats I went to. He attended my first cigar week, and then he after meeting him there, we kind of just stayed in touch and became homies. And now Chalk's a cigar guy, so kind of walking me through the local terrain as to who was who in the local cigar community. And so that's how Philly Cigar Week was born. So year one, we were just kind of kicking the tires, getting our feet wet. Didn't really know what we was really doing at that time. Year two, which was last year, because we took a year off due to the pandemic, we took a different approach. We took that most major cities have restaurant weeks. And so we took a restaurant week format and applied it to the cigar week. And so we just went to all of the cigar lounges and said, hey, tell us what you're doing, cutting light events, something that's unique to your lounge, feed it to us, and we're going to put out there for all to see. And then we built some signature events around that. And so that's how it came to be. So it allowed us to kind of showcase and highlight the best that we had to offer as far as our local lounges were concerned, but also building some signature events that we did as far as day parties and things of that nature. So it was a win-win. And then just like I said, taking the best practices that we saw from other markets and just incorporating that into what we do. And so we pulled in Cigar Mike out of Atlanta, Susie from Lit Torch. She has an app that kind of, whatever city you're going into, you can go into her app and find out where all the cigar lounges are.
Yes.
We started pulling all of those people together. Obviously, we connected with y'all to kind of get that, have this type of platform to share what we do and to touch base with your audience and kind of pull them in and educate them as to what the Philly Cigar Week scene is like. And so we were fortunate. And then last but not least, we had a super strong brand ambassador program. Last year, we had about 60 brand ambassadors. This year, we're carrying about 50. And they serve as the main information tool as far as getting information out there to the masses. Because as you know, advertising tobacco on the social media platforms is close to impossible.
Trust, I know. I've had videos taken down from TikTok where I had a piece of straw in my mouth that simulated a cigarette, and they pulled that shit. But then they put it back when I typed in, it was a straw.
Exactly. So you understand and well versed in that, the challenge that we're faced with. So we were fortunate in that regards. And so it worked. That last year's format worked well for us, and we got a lot of good feedback. A lot of our vendors were telling us that they felt that the events were cigar events that just turned into parties, and they felt that some of the other cities they went to, it was like a party that they were trying to make a cigar event, but it didn't work. And so we were fortunate that we were able to kind of capture that vibe, and we're just trying to stay in that lane. Some of the other feedback that lent itself to our scheduling for this year is that some people said, hey, we'd love to see some live entertainment, some live performances, and so on and so forth. And that's what helped mold this year's lineup. So we have Jeff Bradshaw performing live on Thursday. We got Jazz and Cigars on the Waterfront. I did an event in Baltimore back during the CIAA, and we did a Nobody Forgets the Biz tribute party. We had Kane perform. And then so meeting Kane there, I was like, yo, I got a concept for this party I want to do for my cigar week. Since you love wearing hats, would you be interested in hosting and performing at my Smoke Above the Brim party? And we'll bring in 5 or 6 custom hat designers from around the country and do like a MTV-ish Rip the Runway style fashion show where the hats are being modeled on stage.
Nope.
We have a solo violinist playing whatever song that they're going to be modeling to. And then it culminates with Kane coming on stage and performing live at the end. And so he loved the concept, and we kind of was able to put that and pull that all together. So we're excited about adding those 2 live music components to Cigar Week, and then and at the same time still keeping some of the other formats. So this year, Monday, we're starting tomorrow. We're kicking off our VIP reception at Ashton Cigar Bar in downtown Philadelphia. VIP event for all our brand ambassadors, our sponsors, and dignitaries. Tuesday and Wednesday, we have the support your local brick and mortars. Similar to last year, we go to the local cigar lounges, support what they do. All of our brand ambassadors will kind of spread out throughout the city and support those efforts. I'm going to try to hit as many as I can within the day. Thursday, we do the nighttime event. That's going to be the Jazz and Cigars on the Waterfront with Jeff Bradshaw. That leads us into the weekend. And then we borrow the model from other cities because that Friday, they always do the Rep Your City happy hour. So initially we were supposed to have that at Xfinity Live, and then there was some scheduling conflicts, so we had to move that. So that's going to take place at the Radisson Hotel. So I looked, which was this morning. We roughly have over 700 people already RSVP'd for that Rep Your City Happy Hour. So we're doing some unique things there. Saturday, we're back at Kavanaugh's for the day party. With Cigar Mike, that's the cigars, sundresses, and cars. And then we end up the grand finale with Big Daddy Kane on Sunday with the Smoke Above the Brim custom hat fashion show and day party. So that's the lineup for this year.
And Friday is the day that we are involved. We're going to be coming back doing the live podcasting thing. Plus, I want to have some fun because I got a bunch of t-shirts in the house. I got a fucking busy ass week of work, but you see what Jamal is rocking right there. Those are the style that I was trying to put out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make a bunch of those on white t-shirts, which we're gonna do some moving camera stuff this year to gain some more video content, along with I want to sit down and talk with people like we did last year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you're not moving around, we could finally get you on the mic because your ass is all over the place. We had Chalk and had a dope fun time with Chalk and everybody else that was there. And yeah, but before I pass it to Chalk, because when we last talked, John, did I hear you say correctly that the Starting Five podcast is the official podcast of Philly Cigar Week? Did I hear that correctly?
Absolutely. We have our guys that were doing some stuff last year that are back, but you guys are official. Official.
That's what I wanted to hear. My man.
I want to say this. I want to apologize because with all of the scheduling changes in the past, and Chalk will kind of be Chalk's like my keeps me ringing real in, right? Just for those moves where I want to kind of jump off the track, Chalk like, nah, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna keep it moving. But with so many challenges that we were faced with this year, we were luckily when one door closed, another one opened right up. So we were excited about that situation resolving itself in a timely manner. And at the same time, we're doing some other unique things. We have a panel discussion taking place on Saturday morning called Deeper Than the Leaf. And we'll have a state rep, Danilo Burgos, two cigar, like we have Desiree from Drunk Chicken. We have Kimberly Primus from Flavor Cigars, Lou Liga Cigar Lounge, just talking about the whole cigar industry and what's going on behind the scenes and the direction that it's going in. And also just highlighting what's to come and what's new, what's hot, and what's next for Philadelphia cigar scene. And so, so as far as the, you'll definitely gonna make some time to sit down this year with y'all, chop it up. And then we're adding some other unique pieces to the puzzle. Most of our events outside of Thursday are pretty much day events. So it allows people that are going to be in town to kind of experience some of the local lounges and kind of go check out them and support them if they can't make it in town earlier in the week. And then and do some different unique things. But yes, we're excited.
Yeah, definitely. And we're excited too, even though we've been playing drop the ball and procrastinating on reserving the rooms. But we're gonna be down there. We're gonna be down there a little longer this time. We're gonna be there from Friday to Sunday morning. Cool. Definitely gonna miss the Kane event, unfortunately. But we're gonna be there for everything Saturday for sure. Cool. Definitely, because I need to chop it up with my not nemesis in football rivals, but equal in like cigar smoking, and there's the brother Chalk Belafonte. What's good with you, man?
I'm good. Hello to everybody. How y'all doing today?
We all chilling, man.
We're good, man.
So give the people once again your involvement besides being John's ace and backbone in keeping them straight in Philly Cigar Week.
I'm the ace and backbone. Oh man, I gotta get a shirt say
I mean, he's the one that just said it. Yo, you keep him in line. So I'm just freestyling. I'm off the top of the dome with it. Y'all can fix that after. But
I'm gonna record that clip and post it on my page. No, man, I'm just part of the Cigar Week as far as the background, man. Like I do a lot of stuff when I'm in the forefront, but as far as the background, John run the idea that he comes up with, whether it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning, he'll call me and be like, "Yo, what you think about blah, 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 blah?" And I'll say whatever I'm going to say. And what I respect about John is he'll take that into consideration and make his decision after that. Sometimes it might be what I suggest 100%, or he might take a piece of it and incorporate what he got going on, and to see it all come to fruition is beautiful, man. Like last year, when the finale of last year, it was like an overwhelming moment because like, yo, we actually did this. Like when you plan something and see it actually executed, it's beautiful, man. So this year, like you said, with all the ups and downs and the unexpectedness and all that, I already have an idea how it's going to end because all the hard work that John put in and everybody just rocking with him and rocking with us. The dedication is there. You understand what I'm saying? When you have dedication from everybody as a collective, you the sky's the limit. So that's my involvement is just being a confidant and a shoulder to lean on and also a voice of reason. You know what I mean? When he's ready to jump off the ledge, I might let him get 1 foot off the ledge, but I'll pull him back.
Yeah, that's dope. And JP, who's also here with us, like we've been doing this together. TJ and Jamal have been the newest additions. TJ's been almost 2 years now, but JP and myself, who's JP's not on camera, we are that for each other in both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I just put my foot in his ass about something, and he called me yesterday. Yo, I did it. Yo, I did it. Because that's what, in a way, a brotherhood, real friendship is supposed to do. But especially when you're trying to build something. And John, you being an event coordinator for some years, you gotta have that kind of balanced person behind you that says, hey, like get this shit together, or brother, you got it going right.
Right. You don't need a yes man.
Exactly. Yes man ain't no good.
John, am I a yes man?
What's that? What'd you say?
Am I a yes man?
Oh no, you definitely not a yes man. But I call him Mr. Padron.
That's facts. But one thing I want to say though, like about last year, like the interview setup that we had, one, it was fun as hell. Two, we got some interesting stories in the few minutes we got to sit down with people. Like shout outs to the dude Jahar, who has a cigar smoking he has a cigar podcast too. But that dude told us that he had 48 or 50 something put on his head by Ray Allen, TJ.
Yeah, it was 48. He was talking shit to Ray. He was talking shit to Ray Allen the whole game.
Yeah, like he had Ray Allen put like 40 something or 50 something on his head in college.
He scored 13 though. He scored 13 on Ray Allen.
Right. But then we got to meet Miss Roxy Fab, which hopefully we get to sit down with again. She was a great, dope energy individual. Off air, I'll tell you about the shortest interview we had though. I'm not going to lie. I actually learned the most from. And it was our shortest interview, and the least bit of information was even said. Because I'm not hating, but it's just us black folks can be guarded when we have information. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to give it out. Mm-hmm. But it inspired me last year that I was rolling my own cigars last year in preparation to try to maybe build my own shit, but also give me the education from the leaf to the roll to everything about a cigar within a 5-minute conversation. I learned a lot of that because of an event like this, because there's so many other, and there were more cigar brands there that we probably could have smoked, whatever, could have spoke to. But in that short time at the happy hour thing there was a lot, but relationships was built within the 2+ hours we were recording, TJ.
Yeah,
2+ hours or so.
The vibe was just beautiful. It was just a beautiful vibe. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was laughing, having a good time. People were meeting each other for the first time. New friends was made. You know, a lot of, like Dan said, a lot of relationships were built, and you could. It was just the overall vibe was just happy. Everybody was happy to be there. You know, it was probably the first time everybody's been out in a minute because of the whole COVID situation.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, you guys ran a tight event, man. It was just
Absolutely.
tight from top to bottom. Everybody and everything was professional. From even the staff in the hotel, everything was so coordinated, dope, man. You guys really did your thing, and I got crazy amount of respect for you guys doing what
Appreciate
you had to do. I don't even know what kind of hoops you had to jump through to get where y'all had to get to, but y'all pulled off a tremendous job, man. I want to say thank you.
definitely appreciate that. And I always put this that praise falls squarely on the shoulders of our brand ambassadors, because as you guys saw when you met me in person, I'm constantly moving.
Right.
It's Chalk's running joke with me is that, man, you'll call me 10 times. Now, as soon as I get to you, like, you forgot what you called me for. It's like playing double dutch. He don't know when to should I go, or does he really want something? You know what I'm saying? But no, and I appreciate the fact that the people around me know that that's how I work and that's how I operate. But in a lot of ways, it's like playing checkers versus playing chess, right? I'm trying to always think about the next move from a chess perspective as opposed to checkers. Whether or not we're fulfilling the hotel's needs and what their expectations were for the event. It was funny. I laughed because we went to revisit our conversation with that hotel this year, which we did get a small block of rooms over there, but they have new management and it didn't pan out to like we had it last year. And so that's when we started exploring some different opportunities. But even our initial conversation with Xfinity Live, we thought that was a perfect match made in heaven. So even when that technicality came up and we had to kind of move the location, the sales rep first thing he said is, well, John, we want to lock you in for next year. We're sorry for the inconvenience, yada, yada, yada. Now, obviously, we'll revisit that conversation because that's a perfect situation. However, one of the caveats was for that location is that the cigar vendors could set up, they couldn't sell because Xfinity Live is owned partially by the city.
Gotcha.
And we were transparent with the vendors and they were cool with that. They just wanted the exposure as well. But
that's dope.
But by that happening, by moving it to the hotel, now they can kind of sell their stuff and it opens up more commerce for them. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can imagine that snapshot from last year's happy hour, now you're looking at about 700 plus people that we currently have.
That's crazy.
And then even in addition to that, just last weekend, Barbecue and Smoke was one of our sponsors last year. And they had called us back and said, hey, John, we're thinking about doing something different this year so people can actually sample our product. We're willing to buy 200 pounds of wings. And basically, if you can get a chef locally to cook it up, and we'll just give away samples. I'm like, perfect. So I called my man, Chef Millie, who was on Hell's Kitchen, locked that in, met with him yesterday, shoot the video promo. So that's a whole other thing we're adding to the happy hour. It's just leveraging us being fortunate to have the opportunity to work with a sponsor that wants to leverage a different aspect of their business in a different way. So we're excited about that.
It's great exposure for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
And that barbecue sauce is all that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely do their thing. And Mac and Adonis, who own Barbecue and Smoke, were amazing partners. And they also do gourmet chocolates and barbecue sauce, and they dip and dab in like the monthly subscription boxes. But they have an amazing product, so we're excited to have them back on board. So yeah, so we're going to continue on that path as far as providing that experience and then raising the bar. And it was kind of funny. Now, what was kind of crazy, and I humbly accept the award, but we were just kind of pleasantly surprised because we were nominated for the best cigar week in the country and ended up winning back in February in Miami.
Oh, congrats, man. Dope.
Congratulations. Appreciate it. And Chalk, and we had a whole team of about 15 brand ambassadors. We all flew down to Black Smoke, Miami to receive the award. But just to kind of know that we were being watched by the other sites that have been doing it for much longer than us, and that knowing that whole restaurant week model this even here in the probably the best feedback we got was from the vendors, because the vendors are the ones that go to all the other circuits. And so for them to tell us that, hey, John, we felt that it was like an open air market for us to sell. And that was probably the biggest thing we appreciated, is that there wasn't that many restrictions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's dope.
Your tents
But
right
the
here.
one thing that I think I'm sure many of people were looking for or looking forward to were some of the cigar makers that were vendors to have had samples. Like, is that going to be like a difference this year in some of those? Like, are they going to be, some sample sticks going around, stuff like that? Or
So
because I know everybody wants to make money, but
yeah. So we're teetering on that. So we definitely had Ashton step up to the plate, and they're doing some samples for the VIPs this year. So we're excited about that. So in that swag bag, they're getting we partnered with Barbecue and Smoke. They provide us with this really incredible box. It comes with gourmet chocolates, their custom barbecue sauce. They get the T-shirt. They get some cigar samples. We're throwing in a Philly Cigar Week lighter. So we're doing some different things. We're just learning, and it was probably my mistake as far as not taking the approach. But after my visit to the PCA last summer and getting to know the bigger brands, now I think in by virtue of us having that award, now I have a little bit more leverage to kind of go to them and say, hey, I need 10 not 10, but say 2 to 3 boxes. If I get 2 boxes from like 10 or 15 major brands, I can be in that realm. Now, here's what I'm hearing though behind the scenes after having some of those calls and tapping into some of those discussions. Some of the bigger brands are pulling back because they don't feel that there's enough cigar education going on. They're starting to see a trend in that there's a lot more party vibe versus the cigar education and that type of vibe. So we were able to pivot on the early spectrum of that that wave, and we had 3 things we were developing that we're only launching one, and that one is the panel discussion we're doing Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. called Deeper Than the Leaf. So that's going to touch upon the industry in itself. On a larger scale, I have a local friend of mine, a gentleman by the name of Randy Robinson, who's a political strategist. And Randy was like, John, with what you're doing with your team in the space that you currently occupy, you have a great window of opportunity to start leveraging these discussions with politicians and other local community leaders because of the demographic of people that you're catering to. And so he said, so you might want to think about doing some more smoke and chat type of conversations. And that's what we're about to lead into, not just in Philly,
That's dope.
but around the country.
and
dope.
that there, I want to throw our hat in the ring on that. If we can be like some of the lead panel leaders on some of those, because one of those things obviously we do is talk politics, is talk social issues, we want to be in front of politicians and ask them the non blowing smoke up your ass questions. Not going like we're trying to dig for TMZ level of, but we are down to have those conversations, because when they are to be had, we do them on a regular basis here.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely would love to, if we can work that out to where we could be involved.
Absolutely.
But I want to make sure I introduce y'all to my brother right next to me, Jamal, who he's going to be rolling with us this year. As to, I believe, JP, I'm not sure if he's going to be coming. He might pop in and out of the city real quick. But Jamal smokes cigars with us, and he also does a lot of camera work. So I think he's going to help us out in front of and behind the camera. But he is the newest member of the team who lives South Jersey and is also going to be a part of this too. And
Cool.
Chuck, he's a Giants fan, so we got the whole NFC East here.
What's up, y'all? Pleasure to meet everybody. Love what y'all doing out there. So I apologize for the noise behind me, but I'm here.
No problem. Look forward to putting some smoke in the air with you, my good brother.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Now, John, last year's happy hour had like what, 150 people?
Yeah, it was kind of funny, right? And I'm gonna tell you how that even came to be. Because of the pandemic, the city of Philadelphia, the mayor of the city had a moratorium where no hotels can sign any contracts for any what they deemed as conventions, right? So for me to secure a block of rooms, they would not sign off on that contract until the mayor lifted that ban. He ended up lifting that ban about a week and a half out, right? So from January all the way leading up to the Cigar Week, we had, because we already pre-negotiated with the DoubleTree
Mhm.
and had it listed as our host site hotel, but we didn't have any official contract signed. So what ended up happening is that when people were calling and said, "Hey, is there a room block? Is this, that, and the third?" We just told them to call the hotel and book individually, right? Because we didn't have any code that we could give them. So
Right.
a week and a half out, when they lifted the ban, then everything went on hyperspeed, right? So the general manager, the food and beverage person, and then Nate, who was my liquor rep, said, "Hey, let's have a meeting out at the hotel and let's kind of iron all this out." So we couldn't meet right away, so it ended up being a Zoom call. So during the Zoom call, I'm educating them as to what we're looking to do. And at the time, Nate is the rep for the whole state of Pennsylvania. Nate was like, "Well, listen, because at that time they were questioning me, like, how many rooms do you think you're going to be able to need or whatever." I said, "Well, quite frankly, I don't know, because I don't know how many people that were calling me that either booked with you guys or just booked with somewhere else randomly just to get their own hotel stays." So Nate was like, "Well, listen, let's do this. Since that's a question that John really can't answer at this time, we're gonna do a happy hour at your spot, and that way that'll help drive people to your location." Now I'm on the, like you're on a live Zoom call. I'm sitting there like, oh snap! I'm texting Nate on my phone like, hold up, play, like, are we gonna be able to facilitate that in that short period of time? So if you can recall, it was open bar for I think 2 hours, and they had some food
Yeah.
out as well.
Yeah.
So he just made it hard for them to say no, right? He said, we'll do a open bar on Cavassier, Maker's Mark, and blah blah blah. So that's how that came about. So that wasn't a tough sell for us. But once I put it out there for people to
Right.
like, so I think we had a little over 200 RSVPs, and you're right, because we probably had about 175 people come out strong,
Right.
and then we were kind of double booked, meaning that evening we had an event over in
Overlapping it. Right.
Camden. So as soon as that ended, I had to run upstairs, shower, change, and head right over the bridge for our evening event. So yeah, so that it worked out last minute, but we didn't know that Monday when the Cigar Week started last year. I was in the lobby of the hotel, and the sales rep came downstairs and said, "Well, John, out of the block of rooms that you guys secured, I think we had 50 rooms." He said, "You guys only picked up like 23 rooms." And I'm like, "That can't be, because I know a bunch of people were calling." We printed out our entire ticket sales list for all of our events. Actually, I sent them the spreadsheet. I said, "Take this spreadsheet, and if you can scrub these names, I know we're over the 50 rooms, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And about 45 minutes later, he came downstairs and said, "Yeah, you're right." Because I just knew the people that bought the tickets that were calling me, I was still telling them to call there. That's before we signed our deal. Because a week and a half out was when they finally gave us a code. But
Yes.
so yeah, so they were like pleasantly surprised. They were like, holy shit, like y'all did reach your block. But so yeah, so that's how that started. And then Philadelphia, like I always tell the guys from Vegas, Dallas, Atlanta, we don't have the luxury of having a plethora of smoke-friendly venues, right? So we're challenged. We're just really like a challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And part of what's going to happen in probably within the next year, I think it's going to be a drastic, a quantum shift. Because last year, if you think about it, there was 8 to 9 cigar weeks around the country. They're currently close to 30. I think it's 29 to be exact. And so that within itself then starts to decrease the numbers of the individual cigar weeks that are existing. And so I'm interested in creating some dialogue. It was funny. We started some dialogue about 6 months ago about formulating a consortium. And we started out with Miami, Vegas, Dallas, and Philly to kind of start a core model, and then we were going to expand it out. But now, after what we're seeing now, we almost have to revisit that to be able to be sustainable, right? So I'm seriously interested in looking at the New York market and the DC market and doing it regional cigar week.
New York does not have a cigar week.
And
Yeah.
actually, I believe somebody did try to do a New York one last year, and it actually might have been a homie of mine that was a is a co-worker by way of the same job, but
Okay.
used to also work in the same district as me. Because
Okay.
last time I seen him, he was at Philly Cigar Week. I ran into him in the Camden spot, and
Yep.
he mentioned trying to do something similar up here.
Okay.
And I told him, first of all, I told him, like I said, yo, try to help me, let us get involved. Because I can guarantee you nobody smokes more
I
than me.
do know a brand ambassador, John, so I can definitely put you in touch with the dude.
But
Sure,
He
sure.
does he does a lot of events,
right,
smoking events.
but
There was a couple
they
guys up
didn't
there.
do, yeah, I would say they didn't do, I don't think, like the full same week's worth of
Yeah, it
stuff.
was like a weekend type of
It
deal.
was something different. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And we had
now I'm
good.
sorry, but I was saying you going from 175 last year to 700 this year, my man.
Oh yeah, no, it's
That's
crazy.
that jump is crazy, man.
It's crazy, and it's funny. Like literally before the call, we had to, that's why I was telling Chalk earlier about the whole. It's a constant juggling act, right? So the venue we ended up moving to that Friday when I got the initial call from Xfinity Live about the conflict, the scheduling conflict. That following Saturday, my wife and I, she's getting her nails done. I'm sitting in the salon. And I'm looking across the street at this hotel, which is the Radisson. And I forgot what it was formerly, but it's just newly renovated. I just said, man, let me walk across the street. Because I remember going there years ago, because it was like a sports bar in the lobby. But so anyway, I walk in, and the actual the owner was there, Victor. And this is like a Saturday around 11 a.m. So I introduced myself, and I always carry what my wife calls my mobile office. I have my laptop, a bag. So I run back across the street, grab my bag out the car. I show them the website, show them what we're looking to do. And at that time, we had 400 people RSVP'd for the Xfinity Live event. So I said, as you can see, we have the numbers. I just need a location. So from that point all the way up until literally, I would almost say this, up until an hour ago, we locked in the location because they just completed their $15 million renovation. Their liquor license for the restaurant portion was still pending. And so Tuesday, I'm down there just doing some layouts of where the vendors are going to go and all of that good stuff. And the owner said at the time, he said, well, John, listen, our liquor license is still pending, so we may not be in place for your happy hour. I said, that's not a problem. I have a friend of mine that has access to apply for a one-day license. And that was Tuesday. So literally before I left the hotel, I called my friend up and said, hey, do you think you're able to put this in place by the 17th? He said, he's like, let me get off the horn, call the liquor control board. By that Thursday, which is this past Thursday, everything got approved. So we
Wow.
Friday to walk through everything. And then literally this morning, he kind of called and sealed the deal as far as, okay, we're moving forward. So now tomorrow at some point, I got to stop by there just to discuss making sure they have the right liquors and all the other stuff on hand. So it was just kind of it was a tight window, but I'm like holding my breath to be like, the last thing I wanted to do was have to relocate 700 people with right? And so that ended up being a blessing in disguise. And now, and you guys will see when you come down on Friday for this, it's weird how certain things end up turning out, because this hotel is a parking lot that can hold about 400 cars. It's massive. And it's right off of, literally it's 5 minutes from the stadium. But my point is, so I took the owner out there on Tuesday when I was out there last time I was with him in person. I said, next year, since you guys control this whole parking lot, what are the chances of me taking over a portion of this and putting a stage out back? And then that Friday, we have the whole happy hour.
Oh, that'd be bananas.
Right there. You know what I'm saying?
Bananas.
So he loved the concept. I said, well, here's the deal. I just want to paint that picture, but let's just get through this year. And then let's go from there. And he said, well, would you do anything else here for the rest of the weekend? I said, well, I'll probably just do the Friday and maybe Sunday. But no, so it's just funny how things fall into place. But
that's dope.
And the hotel itself has they have 200 rooms there. So it can potentially be a perfect marriage for our future host site hotel for years to come.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Fuck. Forgot what. No, I don't know. I was gonna mention because it could have been off air, but I'll mention it now because you mentioned the liquor license thing. Is there any of these that we're gonna be there for, like BYOB?
No, well, Saturday, you guys are leaving Sunday morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a private event we're doing on Saturday night at Lou Legal Cigar Lounge. So, and that's being hosted by Kim and her husband, Kimberly Primus and Alonzo Primus. They're the owners of Cigar City Club in Atlanta, and they're
Right.
launching their own line of cigars called Flavor Cigars. So at that event will be BO at BYLB at Lou's spot. And Lou has a nice, probably one of the more nicely appointed cigar lounges in the city. It's actually, he's coming up on his 1 year anniversary in July. He wasn't open last year because he was still under construction. But Lou has a really nice lounge, and it's actually right down the street from Kavanaugh's, where our day party is going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll be the Saturday activities. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, the other questions that I really have for you are going to have to be off camera stuff, and we are approaching. I have to leave work soon, so let's wrap this up and just hang on for a second because, like I said, I got a couple questions. But man, thank you. I'm sorry, Chalk, we lost you, but we're gonna chop it up with you on Friday.
Mhm.
JP, welcome back. But John, as the main guest here, you get the fight. You get the first round of final shout outs.
Sure. I just want to, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity and the platform to kind of share what we're doing here in the Philadelphia market. For those that are looking for more information, they can log on to phillycigarweek.com. Our entire lineup is there. And if you could make it down to Philadelphia this sometime during this upcoming week, starting tomorrow, we'd love to have and host you guys. And we're excited about the opportunity. So once again, thank you, and thank you for the platform and the opportunity. And we're looking forward to hosting you guys on Friday.
Definitely, JP. If we didn't lose you,
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm here.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to y'all, man. Feels good to be back. Shouts to the brothers from Philly Cigar Week, man. I wish you all the best of luck with everything. Sounds good. I like to see brothers doing good things, man, doing great things. And I'm wishing you all the best and continue success with this and keep expanding and stuff. Definitely wish you that. Shouts to my brothers, of course. Dan, Jamal, TJ, man. You know, shouts to y'all. Shouts to the listeners, man. It's good to be back.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Jamal.
Shout out Philly Cigar Week. Thanks for coming on, John. JP, good to see you again, brother. Glad to have you back. TJ and Maya, looking forward to this coming week at Philly Cigar Week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, John, Chuck, man, you guys did a hell of a job at the event last year. I can't wait to see this year. I know it's going to be dope. We're going to have a great time. I was super hyped last year. I'm even more hyped now. So, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come out there and do our thing. We really appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yes. JP, good to see you back behind the mic, brother. Can't wait to chop it up with you about Philly sports. Like we used to, so we can go butt heads again. Jamal, Dan, can't wait to see you guys on Friday. It's gonna be a good weekend, gentlemen.
Yep. And as always, hit that QR code. John, once again, thanks for coming through again. And thank you for the opportunity once again. Now I could throw on there the official podcast of Philly Cigar Week. That's going to go up on everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Piece of shock. I wanted to get back to Chalk, but then I guess connection dropped or something. But definitely connected. That's one of the dope brothers that, like, it was just literally instant. Once again, just to run through how we even got connected. Shout out to my homegirl Summer, who just celebrated a birthday from Philly. Saw the post, tagged me in it. All I said was, "How could we be involved with this?" And he said, "Hit me up." Then later that week, no, a couple days after, was like, "Yo, could you be on a call?" That's when we hooked up with John. Literally a week after that post. Y'all saw my dedication in smoking cigars in 20-degree weather outside. We chopped it up for almost 2 hours on the phone on Zoom. and that was it. And this relationship is now bonded for good, unless y'all kick us out because we don't cut off nobody. Y'all have to get rid of us, so we're here for good. But definitely, we again, because this is year two. We'll now talk about a further expansion of what could we do with you more, because that politician one, it struck me as important, and it struck
Oh
me
yeah,
as something that we do. You know what I'm saying? And I still got other ideas, but if we can get ahead of the game this year, because I've been wheels have been spinning here. Plus, with work, I been too busy to RSVP to anything, been too busy to fucking book the room, but just craziness. But we're there.
definitely.
Just know we're there. And yeah, big ups to you, big ups to Chalk, big ups to everybody involved with Philly Cigar Week. Get there if you can. Get there if y'all want to see us face to face.
It's going to be a
Uh,
good time.
Yep, and it's an adult event, so all the bullshit. We know there's a lot of bullshit going on down there, but all that bullshit gets pushed to the side for an event like this.
It's such a dope vibe. The camaraderie, just people gathering around, smoking their cigars, chopping it up, bullshitting. It's just like being in the backyard at a nice summertime cookout. It's dope.
Yep, and I promise y'all, this year I will not burn a hole in my shirt because I burnt the ill hole in my hoodie last year. That pissed me the fuck off. But that's it. With that being said, we say peace. And we'll next week's episode is actually going to be audio from Philly Cigar Week. So no live show. It's going to be the content from Philly Cigar Week that will be up and available for y'all by Father's Day or the day after.
Yeah,
Juneteenth or the day after.
Juneteenth.
Peace.
Cool.
Juneteenth.